Hey everyone, welcome to Victory Condition Gaming. My name is Doug. Today on the show, I have two of my favorite folks. I have Tomas Härenstam and Mattias Johnsson. You just announced that you're combining forces and becoming one company, and I'm so excited to have you on to talk about this, guys. Thanks for coming on and taking a few minutes out of your day to maybe answer some of the questions that folks have.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you for rising early today to.
It is a little bit of a difference. Yeah, this it's pretty early first thing this morning. I think I got up at 5 a.m. to record this, so that's okay. I love you guys and I love everything you guys are doing, so it's well worth it, and I appreciate you guys coming on and chatting with us. So let's talk about this Järnringen and Free League merger. How long has this been in the works? What led you down the path to combine forces?
Well, it's been, I guess, something that's been a fairly long time coming. I think the serious talk started about a little less than a year ago. We had the first big conversation about it in December, so it's quite a while ago. But since then, things were moving fairly quickly. I mean, there's a lot to sort of go through, but that's when the sort of real serious discussion started. But then we have long before that, of course, we have a long history of working together in different ways and forms. I mean, Free League started as a sort of freelancers for the previous incarnations of Järnringen, and I, have worked with Mattias before in different capacities. So in that sense, it's been coming for 10 years or something.
Yeah, it feels like this was meant to happen, or that sounded a bit much maybe, but it feels natural. It feels like the obvious thing for our companies to do. And we, as Thomas said, even if the serious talk started 6 or 8 months ago, we've been talking about this for ever since we rebooted Järnringen in 2015, maybe 14, 15.
Okay. Now that you've combined teams, what's the name of your company going? What's the name of the company?
It's the company we will be called Free League,
Okay.
and that's actually not just because we wanted it that way from the Free League side. It's actually also, there is a story there that I think is worth telling, that Free League or Fria Ligan is actually a name that was created by Mattias and the previous incarnations of Järnringen, because it's a name of a faction from the game Coriolis.
Right.
That's where we took the name, because we started out doing fan writing for Coriolis, and then we picked the name for our group to be Free League from one of the factions in that game, written by these guys.
Oh, nice.
So actually, we didn't come up with a name; they did.
No, that's one way to answer it. Another is to say simply that there was no discussion about this. We at Järnringen, even if we, of course, I mean, we have our history and our affections tied to the name of Järnringen, we immediately realized that Free League was so much earlier than us on the international scene. They have built a fan base and a network of contacts in the business, in the industry. So, I mean, it would be crazy not to adopt the Free League name, even if it is a merger. I mean, we discussed the possibility of actually coming up with a new name.
Right. But there's a whole. I imagine there's a whole set of headaches when you're trying to kind of rebrand to another name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it wasn't a serious suggestion.
We did consider different options, but I think we ended up in the conclusion that it's probably the best way to do it. Of course, there'll be things to manage there anyway. I mean, we'll have to make sure that the Järnringen fans realize that we are now one company and all of that. But that's that's next on our list of things to do.
Yeah,
sure.
We started it with press releases and reaching out through our Facebook pages and the Kickstarter, updates and so on. So, but it will probably take a little bit of work to get the Järnringen fans to understand that Järnringen is now effectively part of the whole team, is part of Free League.
And that's great. How is that going to affect your teams? Like how? I'm assuming you both have freelancers and folks that work for you. Are they all going to be put under one house? Are they going to still kind of do their own things? How is it going to affect the folks that you work with on a daily basis or on a regular basis?
We will combine resources in every possible way, and of course our freelancers have known about this for a little bit longer than the public.
Sure.
So they are all aware of what's happening and are, I think, most of them extremely happy about this development.
Yeah. So yeah, like Mattias is saying, we'll continue working on the game lines that we have, both Simba Room and the previous Free League lines, and we of course have a lot of people working on those, freelancers and others, and that's going to continue. But we will probably start mixing things up a little bit. Some people who have perhaps only worked on Simba Room might be working on some other Free League stuff if they want to, and the other way around. And that also goes core team as well. We're going to have a session this afternoon talking about the next Simba Room expansion that everyone from Free League will be part of. And in the same way, Mattias will be doing some work on Coriolis and other stuff like that, which I think maybe will make a lot of people happy since he's one of the original creators of the first edition of the game. So we will be combining forces in all kinds of ways.
That's great. Now, personally, how does it affect you guys? How does it does it take some of the pressure off of you, knowing that you kind of have each other to kind of lean on a little bit more, or is it? I don't know. I've never been through a merger, and I've never been like kind of the main person behind it. So I don't know how it would be. You guys must be excited first of all, but does it help with your work process? I'm assuming.
Yes, for sure. I mean, that's been one of the major issues that Free League has been struggling with is that we have a lot of projects going on, and we don't quite have enough manpower to actually manage them all as well as we could. And so I think it's definitely, a way of we'll be able to have to work with someone like Mattias is like it's a lot of fun. Someone that talented person that we have a long history with, that we can now we can discuss projects every day and that's really going to be a great help for the overall work process for all projects.
Actually, one of the first reactions I had when I knew that this was going to happen, I think I said it out loud to you as well, that man, maybe this means that we will be able to have a couple of weeks of vacation.
Yes.
So, because me and Tomas has kind of the same role in our previous companies. So if Tomas has to leave, I can adopt some of his chores and vice versa. That's both when it comes to managing the company and being there for customer support questions and such, and when it comes to running the company, basically. So the fact that we are two who are used to, being part of the daily business of running this kind of company, it will help a lot.
Yeah,
sure. Because I know you guys have just been nonstop with various projects, so I was hoping maybe it would kind of take some of the workload off of each other, so then that way you guys can enjoy life as much as you enjoy creating games and putting all your products out. I'm sure it puts a strain on your personal lives and your families and everything. So I was hoping that would probably be the case, that it would help you have some time to kind of for yourselves.
As for your initial question here, I really have to say, because one of the things I am most excited about is the fact that I now will be in the company that licenses Mutant and Coriolis.
Sure.
The two brands that I started off with in the industry. We did the predecessor to Year Zero called Heirs of Doom for Mutant, and we developed the original Coriolis game. So the fact that I get to be a part of seeing Coriolis grow up in a sense, because we abandoned that baby before it could walk, basically. And now I get to be a part of that again. That's fantastic. And the same with Mutant. I've spent a good part of my defining years in that universe, both as a player and then later as a creator. So yeah, I really hope that I will be able to be part of those.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think that's going to be, for international fans also, but I think perhaps even specifically, even more for the Swedish fan base who have a long history with Järnringen and the previous incarnation of Järnringen as well, to have Mattias and that team back working on Coriolis and Mutant. I think that will be
not least Martin Creep,
yeah,
our illustrator.
Oh, yes.
Simbarum work, and they also illustrated Coriolis as well, and their version of Mutant, and he's now in the team. So that's going to be, a lot of, and he's an exceptionally talented guy. So just having his work on these teams is going to be great too.
Yeah, I bet that's going to be. It'll be met with great excitement, which is great.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus, there are tons of talent and quality in the free league, freelancer. What do you call it? Yeah, they're team of freelancers when it comes to artists and even those making maps. We've just seen a couple of maps that were there's a lot of quality in the free league team as well, that we hope that we can bring some of it into Simbarum.
Nice.
And whatever other projects we might be engaged in the future.
Now, speaking of future projects, let's talk about the whole Kickstarter situation. How does this impact any maybe outstanding Kickstarters or any future Kickstarters? Let's talk about let's discuss that. How will those be handled with this merger?
Yeah, we had a bit of a discussion about that actually the other week. we have actually nowadays have a actual planning document like that. Actually, we actually do some planning ahead,
right.
Which is an improvement from and now it was like, okay, so we had these Kickstarters planned, and then we have also some Simbarum stuff going on. So we have to fit that into the overall planning, and I think we came out with a good solution. But yeah, it takes a bit of work, but I think it's in the end we're all going to benefit from it.
Yeah.
So we're not canceling any Kickstarters or delaying anything, at least not in any significant way. Well, maybe one.
Yeah.
I saw that look from Mattias.
Let me tell you from the Simbarum perspective. First, we are in the process right now of fulfilling the Indaros Kickstarter, Darkest Star, and that will actually that fulfillment phase, it has been a little bit postponed because mainly I have worked on tasks related to the merger. So, but not more than a couple of weeks. That has to do with the extra work coming from the merger. But we were actually planning to run a Kickstarter this fall for a Simbarum product, namely the fourth episode in the Throne of Thorns, taking place in the deepest parts of Daukar. We have decided together with Free League, and I think, and I really hope that this will be accepted also by Swedish gamers, because they are the ones that will be, will suffer a little bit from this, because the fourth episode was meant to launch before Christmas in Swedish, and then running a Kickstarter, translating it to English. Instead, we are doing a combined Kickstarter, and we haven't decided exactly, but first quarter next year.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And even if this means that the Swedish players have to wait a little bit longer on this particular book, they will have a chance to be part of the Kickstarter, have a chance to get the stretch goals, the exclusive stuff that they haven't been able to back or pledge for before.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So hopefully this will alleviate some of the pain is caused by the extra weight.
Sure.
And the English version is not going to be significantly delayed.
No,
that's basically
not.
going to be on time.
Yeah.
So you're right. The Swedish version of this book will be a bit delayed because of this, but that's basically the only significant delay, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. One thing I will give you guys credit for is I know previously when you were two separate companies, you always tried to time your Kickstarters away from each other, so then that way there wasn't any conflict, which was very nice. So I'm going to assume that it won't impact a huge amount of your Kickstarter schedule that's forecasted for the next year or so, just because you guys were very conscious of that already.
That's true. Yeah.
You both have an agreement with Modifius with distribution of your games and so on. Does this merger affect that agreement at all? How does that come into play, if at all?
Not really. I mean, we still have a good, great relationship with Modifius, and we really hope that to continue. So there is no impact on that. I would say the only thing related to that is this digital sales via drive-through RPG.
Okay.
Because so now, actually, our Free League stuff, at least everything in English, has been under Modifius at drive-through, whereas Järnringen has had their own account at drive-through selling the English stuff there. But now, since we're joining forces and it's something we have been wanting to do anyway, so by now we have actually moved everything over to the Free League account. So everything all the PDFs that were under Modifius will now be under the Free League account at drive-through. And of course, all the Simron stuff is going to be there as well. So it does affect the drive-through PDF sales. But that's it.
I'm really excited about this because I like I said, you guys are two of my favorite people in this industry. You're putting out incredibly awesome games. You have these awesome worlds that you create that I'm just excited to see you guys work together and just build even more awesome and create more awesome games and products, and so I'm just really excited about this whole thing. And when you reached out to me and told me that this was happening, I tell you, I was working in my office and I wanted to just scream out. I just wanted to dance and just tell everybody that how excited I was about this, and I can't tell you how ecstatic I am to see what's going to happen over these next 6, 10, 12 months. But let's talk about if someone's not excited about this for some reason they're not. I don't know why they wouldn't be, but what would you say to them to convince them otherwise?
You want to take this one?
Well, first off, I mean, the games they love, the games they play, they will not undergo any significant changes or drastic, we will not switch over to a D6 dice pool system for Simron, for instance.
Okay, yep.
Simron will be Simron, Tales from the Loop will be Tales, and so on. So there are that. What I would love to point out as a positive side of this, even if some people, for some strange reason, may be skeptical, is that what this will effectively do is it will make us stronger, it will make us more effective, and it will it will give us more time to actually pour love and quality and attention to detail into the stuff that we are working on. So I have a very hard time seeing how this could have a negative impact in any way on the games we are releasing. Quite the opposite.
Yeah, I completely agree. And just to add to that, I think one thing that we will also be able to do more of now is to have an international presence, and we will be able to go to more cons, things like that. That's always been tricky to do because we're so few, but now we're not so few anymore. So it's really going to help, have a bigger presence internationally. So I think that's also going to it's going to help us, set up games at Gen Con, doing all kinds of things. So I think in that sense, it's going to benefit, anyone who enjoys either, Symbaroum or the Free League games.
Two more things on a very serious side. We will have more fun going to work.
Nice, and that's important.
That will show in the games.
Nice.
The other thing is that, speaking about the Järnringen team, we've known each other since we were, teens. We have almost completely stopped having heated creative discussions because we know each other so well.
Sure.
It's pointless. I believe, as Thomas said, this afternoon we are going to sit down to talk about episode 4 of The Throne of Thorns. All of us, not just me, Martin, and Mattias. And whatever happens, the product will become better from this discussion, and I hope it will be, from conflict, or at least from having different opinions comes good creative stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's 2 more arguments why this is a really, really good idea.
Yep.
It's always good to get a new, fresh set of eyes on a project and a new point of view and perspective on something. I completely agree. I'm so excited, guys. Thank you for coming on and chatting with me first thing this morning and just kind of talking a little bit about everything that's been in the works for the last little stretch, and I'm so excited to see what you guys have planned for the next year or so. I'm, like I said, I'm a big fan of what you do, and I know that this is only going to strengthen and create even more positive and better products for both of Symbaroum and Free League games. So thank you guys very much for coming on. And if folks want to know more about your games, where should they go?
Well, they can always go to the Facebook page. They can find us on Facebook. And we have forums as well on the freeleaguepublishing.com. They can go, and there is a forum there. There's going to be if it's not already up, it will be. Hopefully it's already by the time this airs. There should be a forum section for Symbaroum as well. So I guess those are the best places to go.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for me. I want to thank Mattias, and I want to thank Thomas for coming on and chatting with me for a little bit about this merger. If you're excited about this merger, please let me know in the comments down below. This has been Victory Condition Gaming, because winning shouldn't be the only victory condition when you get to the table. We'll see you next time.